Gather round, young adventurers, and let the magic of Scandinavia transport you to a world of wonder and bravery. In the frosty lands of Norse legend, where mighty gods and giants roam, a legendary battle is about to unfold. From the rich cultural heritage of Scandinavia, we bring you a thrilling tale of courage and wit. Let's begin our epic journey with Odin versus the giant.
Odin versus the giant. There was a giant named Vafthrudner who was known as the All-Wise in Jotunheim. Many gods and giants had tried to compete with him in knowledge, but had been defeated. Now, Odin, who had become much wiser after drinking from the well of wisdom, wanted to compete with this giant. At the same time, he also wanted to gain the knowledge the giant had of the times before the gods were born. So one fine day, as he sat and thought about the many strange things that happened in the world and the mysterious things predicted for the future, he said to his wife Frigg, "I shall travel to Jotunheim to meet the wise giant Vafthrudner. It is time for me to challenge what I now know and measure my wisdom against the wisest of the giants." Frigg, who knew that those who were defeated by Vafthrudner had never returned from Jotunheim, advised Odin not to go. But Odin, who did not fear anyone, did not listen to her and prepared for his journey to the land of the giants. He left behind his star-spangled mantle and his golden helmet, and set forth to Jotunheim dressed as an ordinary man. Once he reached there, even the wise giant was not able to recognize him. The giant asked him who he was and why he had come to his door. "My name is Gangrad. I am a simple traveler looking to stay with you for some time and measure my wisdom with yours," said Odin. The giant laughed at his words, as no man could ever hope to compete with his wisdom. He agreed to Odin's challenge with the condition that if Odin was defeated, he could not leave Jotunheim. Odin agreed, and the match began. "What is the name of the river that divides Asgard from Jotunheim?" asked the giant. "The river that never freezes, River Ifing," said Odin, who had just crossed the same river while traveling from Asgard. The giant was surprised, as no ordinary man could have answered this question. He quickly thought of a question which related to the beginning of time and asked, "What are the names of the two horses that carry day and night across the sky?" "Skinfaxi and Hrimfaxi," answered Odin confidently. The giant was again surprised that a man would know the answer to this question. The giant was shaken, but then he asked the most difficult question of them all. "What is the name of the plain where the last battle will be fought?" Odin was hesitant to answer this question, as only the gods and the greatest of the giants knew the answer. Bowing his head, he said, "At the plain of Vigrid, which extends to 100 miles on either side." The giant was scared, but went on asking Odin one difficult question after another, and Odin answered all of them quickly and confidently. Soon the giant was exhausted, and he had no more questions to ask. Then Odin declared it was his turn to ask the questions. He asked the giant about the creation of the world, and the giant answered correctly that it was formed from the body of the giant Ymir. The giant also described in detail what each of the body parts turned into. Odin then asked him the secrets of the giants who lived before the gods, and the giant answered him. Odin asked him about the birth of the gods, the creation of Asgard, how the sun and the moon came into existence, about the seasons, and many other questions to which the giant knew the answers. But as the hours passed, his questions exhausted the giant, and he found it more and more difficult to answer Odin. At the same time, with each question asked, Odin seemed to get bigger and taller and more handsome. He started looking more like a god who he was than an ordinary man. Odin then asked the giant a final question. What did Odin whisper in his son Baldur's ear as he was placed upon the funeral pile? The giant was shocked. No one knew the answer to this question except Baldur and Odin himself. Now the giant looked closely at Odin, and seeing his handsome face, recognized him. He humbly knelt before him and said, "Forgive me, O All-Father. I made the mistake of competing with God himself. I accept defeat. You are the wisest among us all." And thus it was proved that Odin was the wisest and most powerful god. The end.
As we conclude Odin versus the giant, remember that bravery and wisdom can help overcome even the most daunting challenges. Download the Story Waves app from Apple or Android app stores to explore more enchanting stories from our Norse Stories collection and cultures around the world. A Story Waves subscription costs less than $1 a month, making it one of the most affordable ways to bring quality stories to your family. All new stories are available on the Story Waves app, with the most exciting content only available there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow Story Waves on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify for updates on upcoming content. Thank you warmly for watching.